Welcome to the Profitable Podcast. Today I have the lovely Jodee Peevor from Totally High Level, and I am super excited. Jodee has been in business for 19 years and 3 months, to be very specific. And she also started as kind of a result of becoming a new mom. And as I suppose you've seen how the web and the internet has developed and evolved, and both of us have found High Level, although we use them in very different ways. So I'm very excited to speak to Jodee today. We are both speaking at the Ultimate SaaS Summit at the end of May in Birmingham, and it's the first UK-based Go High Level Summit. So we are very, very excited. I can't wait. So Jodee, it's lovely to have you here today.
Thank you.
Please, can you tell us a bit about your journey and how you got to where you are?
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to just be a stay-at-home mum, and I was really looking forward to it. You know, I'd been an accountant for years and traveled all over the place going to different offices. And I was like, right, I get to be a mum now. I can stop all of the commuting. It's going to be fantastic. And after about 3 months, my brain said, no, we need to be doing something. We need to be more active than this. Ladies at lunch kind of got, even after just a few months, got a little bit boring. So I thought, well, what am I going to do? And I was offered I actually had a home birth in a water pool that was manufactured by a lovely lady based in Birmingham. And Amy said to me, would you do our PR? And I said, I've got a baby. She said, yeah, it's fine. You can do it around when he's sleeping or, off and on. There's no kind of set hours. Just go for it. And I said, oh my God, this is exactly, I would love to do this because I had an incredible birth. I was already telling the world about her and her water pools anyway. So she was my very first client 19 years ago.
Wow.
And it just sort of developed from there. She said to me about 6 months later, will you build my website? And I said, never done it before, but yes, okay. And I fell into tech. And I think I've got a platform brain. Does that sound familiar to you? You know, when you just
yeah.
platforms. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see things kind of moving together like puzzle pieces. Yeah.
Exactly. And I have a photographic memory, which helps. So I can just say, go there, click that without even being in front of the screen because I know what it is, which is ace. So it kind of grew from there. I was a Joomla girl for a long time and I ran Joomla Day UK for many years. I dabbled in WordPress, but really don't like it at all, especially when you come from Joomla. And then in 2015, I found Kajabi and was one of their main tech support people in the user group, just helping people do stuff. That's kind of my superpower, is just helping people do stuff. And then, so when I found High Level, I thought, oh my God, I get to do tech support and get paid for it. Oh my God, this is fantastic. So I pivoted my business model. And now all of my gorgeous people who are inside my agency, and I support other agencies as well, it's me doing tech support, which I can do upside down, asleep and in another state or county, or it's just so easy. It's a joy. So thank you to High Level for enabling me to make this my whole thing.
Yeah, amazing. So I also have very much a tech brain. I think I'm kind of half techie. I often have in my bio undercover techie because I love how things can come together. And for me, High Level is like the ultimate platform because you don't have to try. I mean, I've had to spend hours with Zapier trying to stitch WordPress together to act on campaigns and MailChimp to all of the different click funnels and everything.
Exactly.
But with High Level, you get to put everything in one place and you get to do it the way you want to. So for me, the way we use High Level is with Podcast in the Box. And it was this amazing way of being able to take what's in my brain and stitch it together and put a system in place that truly is a plug and play.
Beautiful.
So like marketing is only as good as the implementation, whereas now we get to take a lot of that error out of the process. So tell me, how do you use High Level? Do you have a snapshot based productized service, or do you custom build for each of your clients?
So we do build, but I'm doing less and less of that because that was one of the reasons for my pivot, as I didn't want to do so much build stuff. I wanted to just be tech support. So since last September, we've kind of been firing all our marketing clients and moving fully into tech support, which is ace. To be honest, the main sort of, everyone says, as an agency owner, what's your USP? What's your value add? So obviously you get the platform, but with my agency, you get me as well. So we run a tech support open Zoom, which is a main room Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And you come in and chat with me in the main room about all the new features that High Level is releasing and all of the cool things it can do. And the main room is kind of for inspiration and chit chat and strategy. And then if you need one-to-one tech support, you go into a breakout room with one of my tech guys. So, and I've found that it's really become a beautiful community. People just come in and I say, have you got any questions? No, I'm just here to hang out, which is just really gorgeous. So they're building, I'm not building for them. I do give them, I mean, I've been in this business nearly 20 years, so I've got a lot of assets. I've got a lot of workbooks and workflows and funnels and website pages. I do a lot of coding. So I just decided to give all that for free because it's there anyway, and I'm not using it anymore because I'm not doing the marketing agency thing anymore. So it's a really high value offering, but they do it themselves. So I'm there to say, well, you could do it this way, or what about this strategy? And it's just ace, because do you know what? I get off at the end of a tech support call and I don't have any work to do. Whereas before, you go on a client call for an hour and you've got loads of work to do after.
10 hours of work to follow up. I think I need to take a leaf out of your book.
I absolutely love it. I'm literally an hour a day now, Monday to Thursday, which is just really joyful. Yeah, it's really cool.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So how did you kind of come to do that? Because obviously you've been in the marketing space, and for me, like what I love about marketing is that I can see so much potential, and you know, like I'm always full of ideas. So I love that putting it, but I love the way you're doing it, where you get to give the ideas but don't actually have to do the work. So in terms of transitioning from the marketing, how did you come up with that as your strategy?
Well, I put it out. I'm a bit of a manifester, so I put it out into the universe 2 years ago, or 2.5 years ago now, and I said, I don't want to do client work anymore. I don't want to do it anymore, because I found that I could have 100 beautiful, wonderful, gorgeous clients, but then I'd have one bad one, and it kind of makes the whole thing just really negative and sad. And I thought, I don't want that anymore. So I put it out to the universe about 2.5 years ago, and then when I found High Level, I thought, okay, this is the thing. This is what I was looking for. This is going to make me be able to do it, because I had to find a thing to transition from client work into. And tech support is what I've been known for tech support since 2013. I used to support people in the Leonie Dawson group, would you believe, all the way back then. And it's kind of what I'm known for. So it was a very easy transition to make, because it wasn't like, oh my God, Jodie's changed completely into something totally different. It was just a really natural transition. So it's been very, very exciting.
Amazing. And you know, there's a lot of talk around, I think, since COVID days, where about people pivoting and transitioning out. Did you find that it was a smooth transition, or did you come up against some people who are really pushing back on why you're changing? No,
it was absolutely brilliant. I fired all of my clients bar 5. And they were so sweet, like, thank you for keeping me on. I'm like, well, I love you. I don't want to lose you. I love you. So I think I have 5 clients now who we do one-to-one work for. And everybody else, it was just because I used to do 3-month projects for most people and then an ongoing retainer. So I just cancelled all the ongoing retainers. And anybody that was in the middle of the 3 months, I just finished those up. And then, it was actually really quite gentle. And that's what I'm talking about at the SaaS Summit, is how to scale and how to downscale smoothly without falling over, because a lot of people who run agencies want to do either, and I've done both in the last sort of 6 years. So during COVID, we scaled to 14 people in our team, and it was it was 2 years of madness. We were huge. We had 50 clients at any one time. It was totally mad. And I realized, actually, with hindsight, I didn't really enjoy that, and I gave a lot of money to the taxman, and who wants to do that? No one wants to do that. So last year I said, right, we're downscaling. And I halved my business in 12 months. And you know what? It was so exact. I halved my business by 49.46%. It was that precise when I did my accounts. It's like, wow, I really nailed that 50% downside.
Amazing. Okay, so that's such a different take on it, because I mean, you very rarely hear of anyone talking about downscaling, and you know, there's a real mindset that goes with that. So you talk a lot about the manifesting, and I'm sure there was a lot of mindset work that went into making that decision. Tell me a bit more about that.
Yeah, so part of my talk is called Architect Your Joy, which is really about prioritizing your team and your staff and making sure that their lives are actually more important than the life of the business, which I think is a bit controversial, because a lot of people are, me, and it's all about the ego of the business owner, and the staff are not really looked after as a priority. It's more the client is the priority. Whereas the way I've always been is, what do my staff want to do as their thing in life? I've had staff who are nurses, midwives, people who want to do work with conservation in the wild and looking after animals and sorting out pollution and stuff like that. I've had people that want to travel. I've had actors. My staff have got their own thing that they love and do. And what I do inside my agency is enable them to do that thing whilst working for me and being really flexible and really fluid. So when you run an agency with that kind of setup, scaling or downscaling is really, really easy.
Okay, amazing. So I'm part of a mastermind group with Dan Martell, and he always talks about enabling your team members' dreams. So you need to know in detail what it is that they want, and your dream needs to be big enough to allow them inside to thrive. Amazing. So, and are all your team local, or do you use
all over the world? So my brother works with me. He's in Sydney, Australia.
Wow.
I've got team members in Colorado and Florida. I've got a couple of people locally here in England. Yeah, it's all over the place because they can. It doesn't matter. And one of my team members said, "Oh, I need to quit working for you because I want to go traveling." I said, "Why don't you just take the MacBook and work for me while you're traveling?" She's like, "Can I do that?" Yes, you can do that. So she went off to Vietnam and did all of Indonesia for about 6 months last year, and absolutely loved it.
Amazing. Yeah, I definitely think there's a lot to be said for remote work. And if I look at how kind of old style corporate companies feel like bums in seats is the answer, it really isn't. But then there is the other side for entrepreneurs, and I'm probably guilty of this, is that you have to remember that you don't have to have your bum in the seat 9 to 5 every day.
No, absolutely.
So I love how you've really structured that for yourself, and that's my big goal this year, is not to be so chained to my desk.
Definitely. Well, you're going to love my talk because I'm going to give you loads of things, and I'm going to chase up with you afterwards and say, have you put them all in place?
Oh, you're going to have to, because I read, is it Matt Gray? I follow him on Instagram, and he talks a lot about doing 4 to 5 hours of really focused, deep work, and then get away and go and do the stuff that you love. So I haven't quite got there yet, because I'm still a kind of a, maybe not 9 to 5. I have slower mornings because I work with a lot of US clients. So I'm more kind of 10 till 6 or 7 or 8.
When I pivoted, and it all kind of calmed down after the pivot, because there was a lot of migration work we had to do, moving people into high level and things like that. Once that madness calmed down, so probably January time, I realized that I didn't need to set my alarm in the morning anymore.
Wow.
And that was an incredible, because I kept getting up and starting work at 10. It's like, well, I don't need to do that anymore, because my tech support call is 2 till 3 UK time. And I just thought, why am I setting my alarm? That's when I had a team of 14 people who were waiting on Zoom, for team check-in. I don't need to do that anymore. So I cancelled my alarm back in January, and it was an incredible feeling, and really quite weird, because it's a big mindset shift. Just you can wake up when you wake up. And do you know what? Honestly, I mostly wake up at 9:30, 9:45. It's not like I have a lion, but if I needed to and my body wanted me to sleep in, it can. Yeah, that was a really beautiful change.
Yeah, that is absolutely. So for me, we transitioned my daughter into online school, and it means that we no longer have school run.
Yes.
The number of fights we no longer have to have in the morning is just phenomenal.
Well, back in 2019, 2008, actually no, 2016. So my husband was working in construction. He was a commercial manager for a massive firm, and he was very stressed because it's a horrible job, really stressful. And I said, babe, I'm going to earn so much money that you never need to work. And he said, I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah.
That was 2015. In 2006, that's when I joined Kajabi. In 2016, I said, you don't need to work now, babe. He said, yeah, I'm not ready to quit yet. I said, okay, fine. So in 2019, so he waited another 3 years. When he was 49, he retired. So
Yeah.
I don't do the school run because he does the school run. Yay! So that was really cool. So he can
Well,
do, he can follow his dreams now instead of, I
yeah,
mean, he was definitely heading for a heart attack. It was horrible. And
really.
you don't need that kind of stuff. Life
Yeah,
is way, way too short without adding extra stress to it. So yeah,
yeah,
that's been a really joyful thing of my agency and its growth and being able to give him that freedom as well.
yeah. Amazing. So how do you find, what do you do for lead generation? How do you find clients to keep your
Honestly, they just come to me. I've been around for so long and
Mhm,
I know so many people and I've just kind of really embedded in it's a pretty small world. It's a
mhm.
pretty small world and I think I don't I don't do any active lead generation at all. I don't
Okay.
advertise. People just come and find me and reach out and book calls on my calendar and yeah, it's kind of always been like that.
Amazing. Amazing. That's good. So tell me a bit about being a mum and a business owner. So for me, I've always been, my second baby's always been my business, and since she was little, she knows that when I'm on a call, not to interrupt. She's 16, 16 this year, so she's really seen that entrepreneurial journey. But some
Mm.
days there are still days, although when I realized that we only have like 3 summers left before she's off to university, it really was a wake-up call
Mm.
around prioritizing family over business. And that's been a big transition from my side. How do you manage being a mom and running a business?
The mum bit and the family bit is always number one. And I had Sam 19 years ago. I had Poppy 11 years ago. And I was going to have 2 or 3 more, but it didn't happen. I had quite a few miscarriages and we said, right, my breeding time is over. That that's gone. So that's why I now have 5 dogs and 4 cats. But yes, it's a little bit mental in this house. But yeah, there have been times, there have been little moments where I've had to say to the kids, okay, mummy's just going through a really busy patch right now. Like when I migrated everybody last year
Mm,
into high level, because I used to run my own server and I had 250 clients on my
mm,
server. So I wanted to
wow.
close the server and move them all into high level. So there was a big
Mm,
migration thing and I was working weekends and evenings and stuff.
mm,
Um, but the kids they've seen that I balance things really well. So we don't work Fridays. I have date day with Richard on Fridays, and then I'm fully there for the kids all over the weekend. I finish work at the latest 5 o'clock during a working day, and we go on great holidays. And I might say, "Oh, I've got an hour on my Mac," but they're not bothered.
yeah,
But I think it's about the balance, and then about them also respecting the value of money, because my kids don't begrudge what I'm doing because they know that they're living a lifestyle that is generated due to the fact that I'm an entrepreneur and can do this stuff rather than
yeah.
being an employed person with, a fixed income. So
Mm,
I'll say to them, hey guys, we want to go to France for a month in the summer. I'm going to, put my head down and sign up a few more clients this month just to cover that. And they're like, yeah, go
yeah,
for it, mum. Because, they've really grown up understanding the value of money and understanding that as an entrepreneur, you can decide how much you earn and set that goal for yourself. So I think kids with entrepreneurial parents have a much broader mindset
yeah,
and they see, actually, I can go for things. If I have dreams, I can go for them. I'm not stuck with someone else's rules and someone
mm,
else's
mm,
salary that they're setting for me. And
yeah,
that, for me, that was the huge thing of being an entrepreneur. When Richard was working, he had a great salary, but that was it. He couldn't ever
yeah,
earn any more. Whereas with
yeah,
me, if I say, I don't want to do anything this month, fine. Or yes, I want to sign up 5 clients and have some spare money because I want to do the driveway or something. It's
yeah,
that flexibility, isn't it? And I think kids growing up seeing that, I think that's awesome. And I think they respect it because
yeah.
they've watched it happen. So I've never really had any pushback from them. I think they get it and they know that it's a great thing and it's a really flexible way of living.
Yeah, definitely. I've definitely seen in my daughter that there is that resilience, and she understands, sometimes we have to work a bit harder. Some days we don't. She's probably one of my biggest cheerleaders.
Yay, good.
She's fantastic like that. She's like, "You're doing so well, mummy." Which some days I'm like, "Oh, thank goodness."
Yes, thank you very much.
Absolutely. Now, tell me about. I mean, I love to show my daughter like that. There's the hard work and stuff, but as business owners, understanding that, I think especially small business owners struggle with that mindset around uh, the belief around needing to struggle and to work hard.
Mm.
Did you ever find that you were very much in the grind of it, and did you have to change your mindset, or have you just always had it
Yeah,
kind of
I've
it'll
always
come?
I've always kind of been in flow with it. I remember right back in the old days, maybe 2013, it was just me and Savannah in those days, and she'd come into work and I'd say, "We're not doing any work today, we're doing art today. I've got all the paints out, we're just painting today." And she'd say, "Well, don't we need to do XYZ?" "No, we can do it tomorrow." I quite like I'm good at assessing priorities and I'm good at project managing. And I think because I do that easily, I can say to my team, my team will come to me and say, "Oh, I've got this really long to-do list. Oh my God." And I say, "Yeah, but you only need to do those 3 things today. All the rest of them, we used to call it the kicking the can down the road.
Yeah.
But all the rest of it is not today stuff." And they say, "Oh, thank God. Thank you. I feel so much better now." Because they kept looking at that huge whole list. And there's always a huge whole list.
Mm.
But there's only a few of those things on that huge whole list that actually need to be done today. And you might look at the list and go, none of them need to be done today. Let's do art. Or I love moving furniture around. I kind of think, a change is as good as a rest, isn't it? I love moving furniture. So I say to Savannah, "Right, we're moving this room completely and the piano's going in the other room. We're going to bring the bookcase downstairs." She's like, "Oh, right, it's one of those days." Yes, it's one of those. Understanding what your list really means and being able to prioritize well, I think it really does take the pressure off people. Whereas some people get very, very stressed by a to-do list. To-do list can be really negative if you're not careful.
Yeah. I'm thinking I need to come spend some time with you, Jodee. Very eye-opening. I'm very much a to-do list person, very much driven by my to-do list, and it's always long and there's always more to do. So we've got to do that first, and it never ends.
Yeah.
So what are your top 3 tips for managing a to-do list effectively?
So definitely, it's almost like a triage, isn't it? You look at it and you think, okay, what of these have got any due dates, if at all? And what is reliant on something else? So we have a thing in the office that we call WFC, which is great. We've also got WFS, but that is rarely a thing. So WFC is waiting for client.
Yeah.
Now that's brilliant. So I always
Always
say
waiting for clients.
yes. So I always say to the team, your goal is for everything on your to-do list to be waiting for client. Because then you can relax. You might have WFS, like if we've got another member of the team coding something or someone's video editing something so someone else can't do their thing. So you might have WFS as well. But once you start marking your to-do list with WFC and WFS, suddenly you realize that there's not much on there that's just for you. Yeah. And then you look at it and go, okay, the things that are left just for me, are they date, dependent? Yeah. Or could I kick them to tomorrow?
Yeah. Amazing. Okay. I love it. I am going to be there with my notebook when you do your talk.
Yes. Well, it's really difficult because I want to give you all of the stuff that I'm going to talk about in the talk on this podcast. I'm like, Jodee knows.
Right, I'm going to have to push. Thank you, listeners. It's been wonderful. Jodee and I have things to talk about.
Okay. Got to save the bits for the talk.
Absolutely, absolutely. I am so looking forward to being in Birmingham later this month.
Yes.
Danny Clark has done the most amazing job putting this event together, and really he's been tireless in marketing it, in getting the speakers involved, and we just can't wait to see. There are still tickets available.
Yeah, there's a couple, I think, of Mastermind, and we've also got some great sponsorship from High Level and a couple of private sponsors who have bought a load of virtual tickets. So for people who aren't in the UK or who can't attend, there's some tickets that are free and up for grabs for virtual tickets, which is really generous. We're really, really pleased with that.
Yeah, we're really happy about that. And I think that the talks, what I'm really interested in is that the talks are slightly different. for this event, in that, like, yours is about architecting your joy. Mine is about how you can package up your genius using the high level platform.
Yes, brilliant.
And I know that there are some other people that have got, it's about how you buy back your time and still build a thriving business and fulfill your dreams. So I think anybody who has an agency, who is looking at how they can take their business to the next level, whatever that is for them.
Yeah.
I think that the talks that we will be having in Birmingham on the 24th and 25th of May are well worth a listen. So if you can't be there in person, definitely grab yourself a virtual ticket.
Yes.
We'd love to see you.
Yes.
Jodee, it has been amazing to chat to you today. I feel that I could learn so much from you, and I can't wait to see you in Birmingham at the end of the month.
Me too.
And thank you so much for joining us. This is Leanne Scott and Jodee Peevor from the Profitable Podcast.
Thank you.